Welcome everyone to the 215th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. That's about as good as I get for doing one of those intros. We'll get some bells and whistles, and we'll remember the number one day.
One day.
Just
We're gonna run out of numbers? Oh no.
how do we run out of numbers?
Is there a number limit? Do we just
Yeah,
start
300.
I get it. I get it because we're gonna roll over 256. Nah.
Ah.
Yeah, we get to 256 and then we just delete the subreddit.
Surprise!
Someone figure out what day that's going to be in approximately 40
To me,
streams
I
from
thought
now.
we should roll over every 10 because it's difficult to keep track of more numbers. It's like we get to 10 and we go back to 1.
I vote we just make up numbers from now on.
55.
That's the
Welcome to
answer.
stream 470.
29,042.
Fluffy thousand streamed.
Beautiful.
Fluffy 1000. Is that even a number?
It
Yeah.
is today.
Okay.
Fluffy. It counts fluffs.
So, as you know, we do horses.
Do we?
Horse art, even.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I gotta lay off life here. This is ridiculous. Today, we got Alley Claw.
Hi.
Cute pencil case.
That is me. I am drawing in the wrong layer.
Are you on the layer that says, you shall not draw?
Not anymore.
And last, but certainly not least, Pixie Nope.
Hello there.
And we can't forget our fearless zombie overlord. I mean, leader, friend.
Overlord, eh? We require more overlords.
We must construct
Going mad with
additional
power.
pylons.
Alright, nerds, let's do this.
Okay,
We
so-
got Spellbound here first. So let's do Spellbound. Because as always, we are bribed by you being here.
Mhm.
So Spellbound. Welcome back after, I don't know how long, a month or 2 or 3 or 4? I don't know. It's been a while. 6 months. Holy shoot.
Ooh.
It's nice to see you still drawn. What questions do you have on this picture? We noticed quite a difference. It's no longer a petite pony sitting facing us in pajamas. It's different. We like it. We like different. It looks like there's definitely qualities about this picture that show you have pushed your art hard and moved forward, and that's great.
Lots of depth. You did a really good job at having depth. Like, I feel the depth of this forest because of the light rays going on.
Mm-hmm. Those are very pretty. Let's see if they have questions. Questions. Yeah, I think I could agree with that, Maze.
We thrive off questions.
Nom nom nom.
That's what I think of you, Pen. Okay, come back.
I thought about talking about pencil case.
Oh, what did I do?
No, I just dropped my drawing pen. We're getting no questions. Am I just deaf?
It's an interesting picture.
Alright, so with no questions on hand, just gonna go. Oh, I'm mostly here for general critique. Okay. My point of critique here is I think you've amped up the darkness on a lot of elements way too much. So like the blackness hanging around these. Oh my gosh, using black on black. What a crime. The darkness all over here and even inside the bark and stuff. Way too dark values compared to the rest of the image. Like, if we go look at what's hanging under our little adorable Kieran over here, we get a lot less value difference between the ground that's getting the highlights and the ground that's getting the shadow from her. Same with even the grass. Like there's not really that large of a difference in the contrast that's happening. So I just amp that down quite a bit, try and even out those tones. Best way to get a good comparison of what you're seeing is turn it to full grayscale mode and look at your values. If your values look wonky, I'd bring them back.
Mm.
At least I like
Yeah,
the grayscale.
just the contrast in here. It goes from in the tree. It goes from like fairly light bark to fairly dark bark, like right next to each other, and especially sort of over here in this tree, you can see it a lot. Because of that, and because of the texture, like there's a lot of detail in the grass over here. There's a lot of detail in the grass over here. It sort of draws your eye all around the picture, and it doesn't particularly focus on autumn, when it should probably focus a little bit more on autumn. So, maybe look at sort of depth. What, for example, landscape painters do in a lot of cases is sort of have different planes. So, close, mid-ground, far, and then they'll have like blanket values, like the close areas will be fairly dark, and they'll get sort of progressively more grey as you go into the background, and stuff like that, just to sort of unify the image and sort of have it be a little bit more clear when you just look at it from a larger perspective. I don't know.
I agree with that. No, I really do. Helps pull the focus, combining all those elements.
But it's a very well drawn image, and I like it.
I would definitely turn down the texture.
Yes. Less is usually more in most cases.
It's really interesting. So when you've dampened the texture up here, specifically in this area here, you've made the tree look more tree-like than the tree up close to us.
Mm-hmm.
You can barely hear Allie. Let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, here, is this better?
Oh, I left on audio dampening. One sec.
You are both the same volume for me.
Oh.
One moment. My
CPC,
bad.
the way that you draw hair is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, horse.
Volumes.
You can see the colors that she's doing, and it looks so nice.
This program does not help.
Alright, you should be loud again, Allie.
I have a voice.
Also, I don't know if my words critique is going to be very good today, because I almost corrected LD, because I was like, her name isn't Kieran, she's Autumn Blossom. But that is also not her name. And Kieran is not a name. So I would recommend I'm just changing the texture a bit to be a bit more handmade, because it looks a bit like it's a brush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, like this is an example where less can be more. Like the hair feels more, not necessarily solid, but full. We're not looking at all the individual strands, because when you look at someone's hair from far away, or at least a middle distance, you don't see every strand. Your brain takes in the picture of the hair as a whole. Maybe some small groupings, like you'll see locks of hair, that are a bunch of those little strands together, and your brain will parse that into one image. But going full extreme detail, especially with such a cartoon drawing, tends to override the senses, and the focus goes everywhere, like Pixie mentioned before.
I do find the
I would suggest
these are really
something like
interesting.
this in every part of the image. It's just like, this is the part I was doing. And I don't have time to do it all over the image.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing with the grass, it's just going straight up, and you could, instead of going straight up, you can do. Oh no, I have the wrong tool. How did this happen? Program, please. I don't want to color pick. Can you let go of the color pick? Thank you very much.
Personally, I'd
So
love.
now what I do with grass is that I choose a point and I do a bunch of little grasses coming out of it. Then I do another point over here. Instead of all coming parallel to each other.
No, we're definitely on a schedule. We happen every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Or at least that's when we start. And we end whenever we end.
Mm-hmm. If you want to keep in touch with that, you can check out our Discord or our Reddit. The Reddit, we post, this when we're going to go live. But the Discord's where we all hang out.
Why don't we post that on our Discord?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's never really been a big thing, but we can start. Can't hurt.
Yeah, we should talk to whoever runs the Discord.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you got any questions about any of the critique we've brought up there, buddy, old pal, friend of mine?
I agree with what they were saying in the chat earlier. Like the leaves back here, that's like a very nice blurred texture, where it's not like overwhelming me. It's just a nice textured background.
I got a picture from DJ. Whoa.
Yeah. Cute horse.
Wicka wicka DJ.
Alright, well, with no follow-up questions, we'll move on to our next horse, which will be DJ's. As soon as I post it. So we're going to cut off part of this cloud. Unfortunately, it's going to lose a little foot.
Oh.
What the heck? Can I not chop off some of it?
Oh, it did it automatically resize.
Yeah, alright, we're just going to paste it over top of this other picture. Oh no, it's become grass.
Oh.
Fine, I'll resize canvases. No, I got it.
Whoa.
Boom, canvas size. Fear.
Space.
Did you just instantly go and fill it with stuff?
It's fluff. It's full of fluff now.
Alright.
Dear.
Why is my eraser useless?
Because you set it to transparent?
Probably.
It is a soft eraser.
I like soft erasers.
See you again, Spellbound Canvas.
See you
Alright.
in the next
Terrence.
couple of months.
Bye-bye.
Alright, DJ. You got any questions in particular on this horsey? This mlem horse.
Any struggles in particular? Any things you want to do differently? Hit us up with them good questions.
Any
What else?
things that you notice that you'd like to fix?
Yeah.
I see a little bit of fluff, but I need more fluff.
The number one critique of this stream needs more fluff.
The fluff's actually on a weird spot. It's on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, chest fluff. Fluffy ears, fluffy cheeks. Fluff, fluff.
Fluff, 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 fluff.
Y'all are on a one-track mind. It's all just fluff, fluff, fluff with you.
They said just critique in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you think of any questions, they make critique better.
it can be like catered to you.
Yeah.
And it's a no-touch catering. We don't touch the image, so no risk of transferring viruses. It's all good.
Yeah, we always stay at least one layer away.
I am all the layers away. I went to the top layer, so don't accidentally go back to the layer I'm not supposed to draw on.
I can go put on a mask and rubber gloves if that helps.
Probably. We should be safe.
That's how you avoid computer viruses.
Nothing too largely stands out to me. The thing I think personally, I'm not quite a fan of this nose. Something seems a little too off. I don't know if it's whether I want like some sort of bridge or more of a poke up instead of so rounded. But that's a very nitpicky critique.
I think it's
so
the
please-
angle they have it at.
Yeah.
You don't see the other nostril when you definitely should with how flat the face is to us.
Mm-hmm.
That helps you.
Maybe it's somewhere in between the two nostrils.
Yeah, exactly.
I would shrink down the base of the tail a bit, based on where the top of that rump ends, following the
I
spine.
would go from here, not from
Dense
where the
tail
blue lines are.
frameworks. Anyway, I would just decrease the starting width of it. The show often will even have a very small start of the tail, the small dock on that tail. Occasionally it'll get hilariously large because the entire butt will like become one with the tail, but that's animation for you.
Mm-hmm.
Horses have small docks. I will agree with you, Maze, that the whites of the eyes do just completely bleed into the face, but unless if they're willing to add a little hint, even just the slightest hint of color to the horse, there's not much a way of doing that unless if you make bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
And sure, she could just be like,
You could do
Allergy
shining armor and have green eyes for some reason, or blue. I don't remember what he has, but
At least
I
in
remember
the
I don't
background.
like it.
In the background, I bringing this cheek in to touch it really helps there.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot more apparent what's going on. I think what's going on with this this main style. It's a little bit eclectic all over the place.
it's
I would try repeating it on the tail.
specifically.
The tail has a different. Why did my pen give up on me? Why aren't you making lines?
Never give up. Never surrender.
And when Shining Armor first, I think was it when he first appeared, he had light blue eyes, which were disgusting. So I preferred the problematic eyes.
I think I'd also add a
Sorry
bit
to
of...
disagree, Maze, but I prefer the problematic eyes over the disgusting eyes.
I think when it comes down to how cartoony and simplistic this is, it's not too big of a deal when eyes bleed. I mean, sometimes characters just have little black dots for eyes. It's not always going to be perfect, but it's readable. You know, I understand it.
I get the point. Oh, okay. I'll be over here.
But I mean, if you're commissioning me to add a bit of color to your character, so I don't have to shade pure white.
Yeah.
All right, you got any other questions for us? Or follow-up questions to our critique? Or possibly just requests for the next song to be DJ'd. Alright. Well, then let's move on to our next piece. Bum, 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 bum. Top left corner.
Oh, I have to figure out which way is left now.
Um,
This stream is making me a lot
if
better
you
at figuring out
if you
which
take
way
your
is
hands
left.
and look at the
It's the
backs of them, the one that forms an L.
We've had this conversation before. I have explained to you that they both L's.
Well, only if you're like a Rexasha and your hands are backwards. But only on one hand. Anyway, this picture is by bbun12, and it's called More Lineless. And that is it. But I see lines. Do you see lines,
I
Ellie?
would make the lines darker. The lines should be there,
Lines.
but I would make them darker.
I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the black outline. Maybe it's a personal thing, but I feel like you could have chose the dark, like a dark color like CPC is using right now, a darker color to boost the background or something. The black feels kind of like it drains from it. That again, personal
Yeah,
choice.
because all the contrast is on the black instead of the face or the. I would keep, for example, the eyebrows could stay black, because you want them to look at the face. But this way, it's just you could just kind of get lost because the contrast is all over the place.
The fact that the pupils are white is also interesting to me. I wonder why the artist went with white pupils. Like, does this pony not get a C? I don't know.
It could be part of the character. And same thing like the last drawing, just watch your tail placement. Right now this tail, if it's coming out from here and here, that's right out of the butt. Very common thing we see, just poop tail. They're not pooping out their tail. It's coming out from the spinal cord, which, you know, generally just runs like this.
Poop tail. Alright.
And
Ooh,
like
another
they say, I feel like all the colors are a bit too close for the style. The orange and the well, you can still put the lines dividing like you have in the rest,
Yeah.
but the orange runs into the other orange. And even the yellow and the white don't have that much distinction between them.
Yeah, especially with the eyes here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Maybe
something
it
else
would
you
be
can
a
do.
bit.
Just like how you have these lines here, do that for the scarf as well. Like if I grab a darker red, you can have some fold lines going, you know, help it feel a little bit more scarfy.
I normally like the eyebrows going through the hair, but in this case, because it's so the colors are so close, I think it would help giving it more of a break if you completely hide the eyebrow on that area and here, so you can fully see where the hair is going.
Yeah,
And I would still add a line there.
we haven't been doing Aggies in a while. They sort of lost interest in the general public.
Occasionally they still happen though, but very rare.
Need to do them more. They're fun. Aggies and draw piles and all sorts of stuff.
F in the chats.
Alright, shall we move on?
Sure.
Next horse.
Bad
It will
horse,
be
bad
the
horse, bad
Fluttershy.
horse.
Flutter.
Oh, I saw this one.
This one's by
I saw this one.
The Real Eagle Gamer. Fluttershy looking out from the stars, or looking out at the stars from Mars.
What a brave explorer.
Yeah.
This is not a good color for me to do this with. Maybe
This is
blue?
major.
This is not exactly a critique, but I really do wonder, you know, all that pony hair in that helmet, what do you do with it?
I think they would shave it.
Just shave it.
Well,
Don't
Yep.
shave Fluttershy!
No.
all right, astronauts have to have hair short. Especially because the huge long mane, 0 gravity. Even on Mars, you're still dealing with a quarter gravity. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be hanging around there.
And fur messes with like seals and stuff, so you need all.
You're also gonna be shaved. Don't shave the ponies, they need their fluff. So I remember on the Discord they said the eyes are supposed to look big because she's like looking at the stars and being very, very surprised by them. I don't know the right word. It's not surprised.
In awe.
Bewildered wonderment.
I think
Aw.
I think my biggest problem is the lack of that information being conveyed in the eyes. And I know it's tricky when it comes down to traditional to add in those more details after pencils down, especially you at this point you'd be wanting to add light. But crack out a white gel pen and you can make this twinkle.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd just be adding in a bunch of little stars all about. I would almost want to take away that spaceship.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
this looks like a missile to me, but only now do I realize that this portion here is like Mars's surface while this is like another planet. I think there's too much big things and not enough general
Yeah.
feels like a star. Like you could just have sparkles instead of big shapes.
Mm.
Yeah. Big eyes.
Because like I think in my head at least, I see the spacesuit, I see the helmet. If I saw like stars in her eyes, I'd get the whole picture that she's looking out into space.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if we're to build a collar onto this helmet, we could easily put on that, like, yeah, I see you have ESP Equestrian Space Program, I guess. You could try and do, like, give a further indication that they're on Mars as opposed to anywhere else or just hanging around in space. You could even, in the background that's hanging around her, draw the rest of the red, or draw a bit of horizon of a red planet.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you get like the red up in here, that would be really good indicator. Maybe some craters.
Or, as the bird in the background says, bah, bah, ah.
Oh yeah, no, they do that very, very much.
You just got to talk back to them.
Listen, they got
Bah!
a lot of
No,
knowledge.
they're not listening. Those twinkles in the eyes are cool. They're good shapes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You could definitely just stick the... Yeah. Oh. If it was digital, this would be a lot easier. Because fixing in layers and doing a very dim layer. But you could, in the entire bottom of the helmet, put the horizon of it just as a very dim reflection.
Oh, DJ, I didn't make it up. I stole it from Dino and I stole it from Stranger and from BFC. I did not come up with them.
They're just known as BFC source. So this next one is by 63rd Legion. My first attempt at drawing anything pony related. How did I do? It's a pony. You think this is
It's
a
a
pony,
pony.
guys?
Nice.
Nicely
Yeah.
done, everyone.
Pony.
Why is my brush dumb? Can someone?
Are you using a white brush?
It's trying to be a watercolor brush.
Oh,
Oh no.
well, shut off or make sure its opacity set to full and its smudging set to nothing.
Smudging 0. I don't understand, but it's fine.
Okay, as long as it's fine.
You've got the different numbers up the top as well. You can switch between those with some different brush settings quickly.
Yeah, I thought I had a pencil and a brush, but now I only have a brush. Whatever it is, whatever mystery this is, I'll just work around it. It's fine.
So here are some general tips that we would give to everyone that is ever drawing anything. Grab references. Eat up a whole bunch of references. The more references, often the better. You can probably overdo it by completely covering your entire house in references and no longer being able to have a place to draw, but about that point is maybe a little too many. Anywhere just beneath that, though.
You can get a second screen and then you have more space for references.
Just start printing them out and stapling them to the walls and stuff. Grab red string and lines between them. No, wait, no, this is getting crazy.
The other thing is on our subreddit, on our sidebar, we have so many tutorials. This was the first pony they've drawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So check out those resources. Check out those tutorials. We also have tutorials in our Discord. We have a whole channel full of tutorials. Check them out. Those with references, they'll be so helpful to you. There's a lot to learn. And it's really great to see you drawing, and it's really great to see your first pony. And we hope to see more of them. But if this is something you really want to learn about more, check out those resources. They're gonna be your best friend.
You'll find them listed under beginner guides. Click on that, and then it'll have our exterior guides beneath that if you want those, or our in-house guides under the beginner guides. It's a whole lot of information. I suggest starting at the top and working your way down.
The raccoon woke up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
It's a Fluffy.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, just keep drawing, keep looking at references. You're doing good. You're doing great.
Yeah.
So really quickly, people who've put down ink, you want to go over why you've done that?
Because this is a critique stream.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. I just made the ear, base of the ear a little bit larger because I think it fits the head a little bit better. Maybe should be like over here a little bit as well.
Yeah, I would put it
In this
over
back
here,
corner.
I think.
Yeah. When you
Here.
split the head into like quarters
I
with
don't
these
know how my
lines,
that
the
because I changed.
ear is sort of about up here. Usually.
It's something I do when I'm doing side, but this I don't even think they do it on the show, so it might be a more later on thing. So how we do the cross, and then if there's third quarters, we do this. I'll also add an extra line for where the ears will go, because they don't go on the back of your head.
Mm.
So instead of putting them right at the back, I'll do this.
Mm.
Well, I'll do this, but well drawn. Hopefully well drawn. It depends on the day.
With this draw line of the draw here, that would probably be like a little bit further back, just because the head is all underneath here, and it falls around about somewhere in there. But yeah.
All right, shall we move on to our next one?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let me find my pen. Hi, pen. Next one is by Calvin. I think it's Calvin.
Hi, Calvin.
This looks weird. It's not like it's comfortable sitting. Can you give me some tips? Also, the bottom one, some might not look. Also, the bottom one, some not looks like comfortable. So static weird. Okay.
Those are words.
I like this one up here. It's good.
I like
Mhm.
that it appears as though you've taken human references and tried to transpose them onto ponies. That's fun. It's generally not a bad call either. I like
Yeah,
it.
It can
honestly,
work.
I like that you did these little silly sketches at the bottom. I'm not even joking, just because those silly thumbnails can really help you figure things out, and you're like testing out weird poses you can do. They can
Mm.
really help to figure things out, and they may look dumb and silly, but sometimes you just need to make little wacko stick figures.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I love the way that this eye is drawn up here. It
Yeah.
looks so nice and soft. Also, rewind the video like 5 seconds and see what CPC drew. They were good.
I'm fixing it. It wasn't falling. It was two on the floor.
I know. Are they falling?
I'm going by the.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
it
yeah.
could be. They could be.
They're lying
I
on
sort
the
of
Oh,
floor.
now I'm
mm,
seeing something different.
yeah. I see it as them like having fallen back and are now like resting on their back leg.
That is the PG way of looking at that one. Yes, it is.
Oh shit! This is a PG show.
So
Yep,
I am
exactly.
mostly looking at the human references. I imagine that was the initial reference you started with.
Oh yeah.
And,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And the problem I'm having is that humans are a bit longer and ponies are more squishy, so the legs and the arms are all going into each other.
Humans have all this weird anatomy. You've got to translate into pony simplicity. We just don't make any sense.
Mm.
Spaghetti monsters.
Yes, with many little mini spaghetti arms on our hands.
The floor. Goes out. This goes here.
So technically, we're PG-13
That's true.
because we are not the child-friendly stream according to YouTube.
That's good. People can still comment. I feel like the first one was better. Now I already erased two of them.
Oh no. Well, good thing this is recorded and they can go back to the first one.
I remember exactly what the. And now I'm going with different construction lines because the normal ones didn't work out. Oh. So I'm gonna. So what confused me just now was that I'm trying to mix the pony reference with the human one, and the human one has the shoulders like this in comparison to the head, and I was reading the pony one with the shoulders in the other direction.
Mm. Yeah, I like using dogs and cats for reference because the anatomy is very similar. Very easy to translate between.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely useful to capture elements of the human expressions there.
All right, shall we go on to the next one?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yes, all of these are recorded and posted on YouTube, so we can link back to the people who we're critiquing right now. It helps them actually know what we did.
We have like enough so that you can like watch years of your life or waste years of your life watching critique streams if you want to.
Well, that's pretty much us making them.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had. One time we looked through our statistics, and I don't think there's like maybe 1 or 2 people that have watched like a full episode.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. Alright, so the next picture up is... I'll find it. I'll find it. Holy
I
cow.
believe in you.
I got too many pictures, apparently.
Sombra.
Yes, I was trying to find the post, though. Posted by I don't know and I don't care. Sombra, slightly redesigned. Just want to know if I made the neck too big. It looks kind of big to me. No, it looks fine. Sombra had a
No,
long
it's
neck on
fine.
the show.
Yeah, I think we said it in the in comments on the post, but the neck is all good.
There's a bit of a tangent line going on with the armor, though. I'll say, because I was looking at this. If I can, okay,
Mm.
yeah, because this sort of looks like one neck seam, but actually it's because you've got this line here, and then you've got this second line. Both my colors are blue. There we go. You got this second line here, and it comes very close to it, and so our eyes, even though they're obviously disconnected. Well, that was an accidental stroke, and it was exactly where I wanted to make the stroke. I was just trying to get my tablet to work. It makes our eyes see this happening, even though there's a bit of a separation when you actually look at it, because it's just a matter of like the first second that you look at the picture.
All right, shall we move on then?
Yeah,
Sounds
in
good.
general.
I really like the fires that happen behind that mane.
Yeah, the swooshies. I was just thinking about that.
Little flecks.
All right, this one is a Twilight, as people might see. This is by our Stamus. Stamus! Long time no see, buddy. The thing I like about traditional is that you have to make do with what you got. With digital, you can fix every pixel, and that puts a lot of pressure on yourself to make it perfect. I'm trying to move away from this mentality and do messy art. It's this... it's in the fundamentals that I need to work on anyway. It is the fundamentals. Yeah, anyway.
You have some good outlooks towards art.
Hmm.
We wholesomely agree.
Get messy. Do art.
Appreciation of
Yeah.
traditional. Like, you know what's up.
Hey, I mean, I'd say. Now this is just me. I'd say you could be messier than this. This almost feels too clean for like a colored
Oh, yeah.
sketch.
Mhm.
You could be I think you cleaned up too much, and I think you need to let yourself really free those swishes, get those markings out. You don't need to erase every detail, every line. Just
Yeah,
spot
seems like
here
it's
and there.
seems like a bit of a learning process. Trying to explore that mentality of drawing. I think it's a good first impression. But yes, you can absolutely just like be super messy and try. There's like we'd love to see like lots of little like very sort of gestury sketches, and maybe not quite that messy, but lots of messiness, just sort of building on the shapes.
With all the lines going on around, I suppose, just as it is. I think the hoofers could maybe, or at least the one closest to us, could be in a different position. But like in general, it's a really, really cool pose. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
the
like
front hooves.
some of the things weren't drawn under. So even if you have the mane hiding it, make sure you draw the whole body.
Digital helps
Yeah.
with this. I mean, traditional, I do it too. I just use a 4H pencil for doing all that intersketching.
I use whatever pencil I have in hand.
Yeah, I just have mechanical pencils. I don't really know
I
I'll
have
just
one
type straight in the
mechanical
ballpoint pen.
pencil that I
fancy smancy
never yet-
advanced art pencils.
Advanced pencil,
You
4H.
I just yeah, like I just have a mechanical pencil. Like I don't know what.
I spent all my money on sparkly pens. I don't have money for extra pencils.
Yeah,
I'm on a student budget. And we need sparkles.
CPC has a dire need for sparkles because she's Cuban's case. I was just looking at your front legs because the back ones, they look a little bit in CPC's corrections. They look they're more balanced, but the back legs that you've drawn are bigger than the front ones. So you could either reduce the back legs like CPC has done, or like increase the front ones, depending on what you want to go for and the
I
pose
also
you're trying to go
used the
for.
front ones.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't choose the best color, but I tried.
Yeah, it's
This is
I need to have
even
different
worse. Yes, draw blue on blue. I'm very good at arts.
You've got
Oh,
some
this
really
is-
nice like lines of action going like through all of here, and I think that looking at sort of a similar kind of thing for the hooves could be good. Maybe unify them a little bit more in terms of the whole pose. But like as Ali said, be more sketchy and more loose, and let yourself really just like, yeah.
And draw
It's
the
all good
hidden
to do like,
parts.
yeah,
Always
it's
draw
all
the
good to
hidden
do like
parts.
finished pictures, but make sure that you're also doing like pages of sketches where it like most of them stay sketches and that sort of thing as well.
And like the cool thing about staying messy and digital is that you can always go back and clean it up because you just kind of go draw over top of it, So don't worry, just find them.
Draw over the top and then like just alternate between erasing and drawing things and sort of eventually end up at something that's cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on?
But yeah. Cool drawing.
Cool drawing.
For H only scratches the paper if you press really hard. The point of the for H is that you can barely see it.
Yes.
I'm answering the stream, not the SR.
Not that my confusion at not knowing what different pencils do.
For the
Yeah,
H's are very light. The B's are bold.
Yes.
Okay.
When I'm doing traditional stuff, I tend to just go straight to ballpoint pen or ink or whatever.
You
I don't
madman.
tend to. Yeah, it's fun to have it be all weird and scratchy and dodgy.
I mean, your art looks very nice, so.
I try.
All right, this picture is by Melody Breeze 1, and it's Sprucey logs a new mature themed character. My name is Sprucey Logs. Cutie mark. Leaf with stem. Fluffy horse. Can someone give me an element of nature so I can draw it as a pony? I'm running out of ideas. Wind!
Water.
Earth, fire, love.
Power.
These elements
Captain
combined.
Planet, he's our hero. Gonna turn pollution down to zero.
Just go watch The Legend of Korra. They take elements and then make up elements, and it's great.
I was going to say that's what I thought you were referencing at first, but someone included that.
Your most useless power, heart.
And
Just
I'm not
takes a
familiar with.
beating heart and throws it at someone.
Oh my god. By eating people's hearts, you can gain their powers and memories. That's the power.
This stream
Oh.
doesn't
Focus.
Donating
support the consumption of hearts.
Yes.
only of brains. Only of brains.
Only brains. Yep.
Yeah, so we've got to support our zombie overlord.
It's why we're all
Yeah.
mindless in this stream. Because we're eating all the brains.
Oh, I thought just because I slept 3 hours.
You're just slowly sucking it out of us.
Bean. Bean. Got a bean.
I hate
Bean
these
buddy.
pilgrims so much.
Right?
How can my pencil be too small and too big at the same time?
It is pretty crazy.
The fluff. I do like this when Earth ponies are given the shodden hooves. Shodden? The fluffy hooves. Because it's like, I mean, if Earth ponies are going to be something, they better at least be one of the interesting races of horses, not just your standard stable dweller. Where we want our giant Earth horses. And they all seem to have fluffy ends to their hooves. I forget the name of those giant horses.
Gypsy ones.
Yeah, I think the main
There's
thing
also
is because piece of mane, it's hard to see sort of the underlying anatomy and how you've structured it a bit.
Holy crap, those... Yeah, Dutch horses. There you go. They're huge. Just ridiculous.
Oh, we had one at uni. He's so sweet, but also he's huge. I'm very scared of him. He he he's a type of horse that was bred to pull cannons.
Yeah.
Oh.
The draft horse. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very big. He has the fluffy hoofs. He's very cute, but he's very big. Like, I don't reach his shoulder. That's well, I guess I'm not very tall, but I don't reach his shoulder.
But still.
This horse looks good. It's completely side on. I tend to find that like 3/4 view is a little bit easier for me to visualize and draw and all that sort of stuff. But like, just pay attention to how big the different parts of your drawing are, like the proportions of the ear compared to the eye, compared to the little muzzle and all that sort of stuff. Just experiment a little bit more and get something that looks a little bit more in balance.
So, I think one of my issues I'm seeing is when it comes to how you do the frayed ends. Ellie has displayed it a bit more interestingly here. The hair's generally not like broken up and then left really short and goes longer. It tends to all grow together as like a comical body overtaking everything. So we got these fluffy ends or these frays that come out towards the end as it splits off from the main body, but generally it's still around the same length of that full body. You have a bunch of little frays that just sort of end as it goes down and it sort of makes the tail into a chainsaw. I would try and avoid that and just keep it as one solid body. You can have parts break off of it, but if they flow back into the main body, it'll help still keep that large, wild mane look while keeping it as a long length. Anyone else got anything?
Not personally.
Nope.
All right, let's move on to our next picture. Might need to scroll about here. Yeah, it looks like Allie's already in the process of fixing this
What?
one.
What? Huh? Can't prove it.
I can see the name, but all right.
I can't believe this meme's still happening.
So this is by Supermarine Spitfire. After an after an extended period without drawing, hopefully this long glimmer will ease me back into the habit.
I'm glad you've decided to draw the best horse.
Especially in long form.
Well, she's only best horse when she's in long form.
Yeah.
My Starlight plushie is watching the stream right now. She's on my bed.
Is she long? She's
No,
not long enough.
she's a regular, perfectly sized Starlight.
Has anyone made a long Starlight plushie yet to go with this?
Probably.
I haven't seen one yet, but I have seen an edit of a plushie that already exists, so she's longer.
Like, I want one that's a slinky.
Yes.
What is wrong
Ali,
with
you're
everyone?
our plush expert.
Oh no. Listen, you just get like a sock and you put a butt on one end and then Starlight on the other.
Done.
With the eyes, pay attention to the width of them. The further eye will tend to be shorter because this sort of plane of the face is sort of receding from us. So it sort of gives a little bit more shape. Like the only way that the two eyes will be like completely the same width is if they're like facing directly at us. Because if our faces are shaped.
I do like your mane and tail look very show-like. They're very good, well-formed. You have your stripes and everything in there. Your face shape is wonderful. You've done a good job. I mean, Well done. And it's a meme. It's funny.
Yeah.
We like memes. 'Cause fun.
Sillies are good things.
You should draw a longer one. Just saying. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Yes.
Oh my god! I went to the right and thought Ali was right. I was like, "Is this the next one? Have we gone from long pony to longer pony?
Okay.
It is.
What is happening, Ali?"
This is my critique. It needs to be longer.
Ellie, I have a critique for your critique.
What's that?
It needs to be longer.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Well, look, no, okay. See where it's going off the canvas slightly. Our eyes would imply that it's going on in a loop, but actually, it goes off to the right, and it has like a whole roller coaster of like miles of body, and then comes back into that.
Here, I
one.
can fix
think
it.
mine had a little bit of a hiccup, and she ended up a bit tight.
Oh no.
Pretzel pony.
All right, so the next picture is by Fantility MLP. I can't pronounce your name. Someone's gonna have to give me this one.
Spell it out for us.
FANTALITY MLP.
I am
Fantily.
lost.
But it's not a word. Like my brain goes, that's no word. Is it a word?
Yeah, but pick
Well, maybe they don't need your approval of being a word.
Okay, fair enough.
exactly. It's like my name isn't a word either.
Fantality? What am I looking at?
Yeah, is this a... Okay, apparently it's the name of a shop. And a tattoo shop.
Did they do MLP tattoos?
Maybe. Okay. No, there's fatality is a word too. I would not want to call my ink shop Fatality. That seems like a bad choice.
Or is it really hardcore?
Hardcore. Dying for your ink. Hardcore.
What is happening?
Oh,
You've got a really interesting thing here with the muzzle, where it's show style, where like the face is 3/4, but the muzzle is side on, and it's really hard to critique, I think.
so one of the things they did mention is they draw completely with their pen. No, not their pen, their mouse.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh my.
I mean, they're pulling it off for the most part.
I don't know how they managed to do like the nose and mouth and like chin and all that sort of stuff with the mouse. That's insane.
Zoom in lots. Zoom in more.
It's,
Like,
it's a
if
1,000
you
by
can-
1,000 picture.
I would say continue using a mouse and do stuff like vector or use like what I used to do is I use the path tool on GIMP, stuff like that. Just use tools designed for using a mouse. And if you if you don't have a tablet, vector is an absolutely great way to go. Totally different and very interesting form of art. I will say medium, I should say. But it's if you're gonna do drawing like this, typically using a tablet so that you can use your actual physical hand to make strokes and everything is the best way to go. I know not everyone can afford a tablet, so you're
Also, not
absolutely
everyone can order a tablet at the moment.
yes.
Yes.
It is. I'm still waiting on my Huon.
Whoa.
I had a dream
Definitely
last
true.
night that it came in the mail, and then today I
Aw.
woke up like I want it. No,
I already
It's-
have my Intuos Pro. I'm good. It's not like it may not have a screen, but I love my Intuos.
yeah, I think I had some form of interest before this one.
But I
I-
plan
I
to get.
still have an Intuos. It's amazing. I don't know how it hasn't broken yet. I've had it for
I
5 years.
I plan to get a Cintiq 16, so eventually I'm gonna move on from this. Don't know when,
With-
but so my
Hmm.
question is, should I do Dropbox? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Dropbox
worth a
is good.
try.
Because all I want to do is just know how to draw ponies and not
Well,
draw.
Drawbox.
Well, if
Drawbox
you
is
just want to
more
draw
on the
ponies, yeah.
yeah. Then I would just say studying the show, references, screenshots, and things like that, and look
Well,
at other people's draws.
I mean, I don't. Oh, I also want to do animation and such. So I mean,
That's fine. Drawbox, I think, is more in like general art fundamentals, from what I understand.
But don't you need those still? Because right now
Yeah,
I
but
want to be good at drawing. That way
I
I
will
can.
say, Drawbox has helped many people here in the MLBDS and our friends elsewhere. I personally have never actually used it, so you don't. It isn't essential. There are other ways to learn the fundamentals, and if Drawbox doesn't work, like give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, then that's absolutely fine. You're not doing something wrong. You could learn your fundamentals elsewhere, like I did, and like many other people do.
I'm just kind of. I mean, I don't know. I felt like I needed a mentor for this, and I feel like maybe I don't at the same time. I don't know. I feel like I need like some sort of guidance or something like that, like somebody who can personally help me. I guess like a trainer, but I don't think that's possible in this field.
Well, the closest you can get is MLPDS here, because we can you can find people to help. Right now, we're
on the
doing a
on
critique stream.
the art on the stream, what I would say is probably draw out some stuff using just paper and
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
a picture of it, post a
I would,
picture of it
yeah.
to us or in our critique channels or on our
Absolutely.
Discord
I was
somewhere.
gonna mention that. I wasn't sure whether they had done like a pencil sketch under this and then had drawn over it on the computer or not. Because obviously there's no way of telling that since it's a digital piece. But yeah, because like that's what I did for years, was just drawing pencil and scan and then use GIMP to the path tool. And
So-
yeah.
because like it can feel like really appealing to like have a finished digital thing and it's all clean and it's all awesome, but a decent like traditional sketch is just as
And-
appealing. It's just as
yeah.
nice. It's
And-
you can
and it would
convey the
give
same
us-
sort of information. Yeah.
It would give us the ability to see your art in sort of a true form, as opposed to the mouse, where you're kind of in an uphill battle to make it look decent.
Mm-hmm.
Which you've done a
Like-
great job of. But
I'll say this: if you really want to learn how to draw, move to pencil and paper. If this is just fun and you're having fun with it, I'm not saying no one can draw with a mouse. I know some people do that for fun, and if you're enjoying yourself. But if you want to learn how to draw, it's best to get familiar with the tools of drawing. So if you can't get a tablet, obviously pencil and paper is going to be such a good tool for you to use, and it's
Wait,
very
not my
obtainable.
Intuos Pro though. Not my Intuos Pro. I have an Intuos Pro right here in my desk.
that's great.
But still pencil and paper.
Well, both.
Both, yeah. Traditional is not an enemy. It all works in harmony. Learning to draw is learning to draw. It doesn't matter what tools you have.
And I will say, learning to draw traditionally, like you don't. I don't think you have to, but just from my own personal experience, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Like learning to draw with pencil is like you're not having to fight against like the disconnection of like the tablet. You're not having to fight against the computer. You're just drawing, and there's such a level of control with a pencil that you just don't have digitally. And there's many things that you can do digitally, and I love doing digital art, but with traditional, it's such a raw drawing experience. Like I do think that's a great way to learn how to draw, because then you're just learning, and then when you get into digital, then that's when you can focus more on the coloring and lining and all that sort of stuff. Although it does allow you lots of experimentation with digital, because you can just go nuts and just like erase entire layers or undo and stuff, so you get to be really creative and messy with it.
Yeah,
Both
most
are
of
great.
my sketching tends to all be traditional. I find it helps me learn a bit better, but everyone learns differently.
And I found just from like years of where I just got into digital art and then like I just like hadn't drawn in ages, because I just wasn't in a place where I enjoyed doing it as much as I used to, like physically. And then there were points where I'd gone back to traditional drawing. Even now I do digital almost always, but then I'll do some pencil sketching and it's like, oh, I miss this. and it really helps your perspective of things. It helps you. I think every digital artist needs to occasionally do some traditional stuff, because it just really helps.
With this drawing that we've got here, I forgot who did this blue stuff, but they've like sort of
Looks like
constructed
CBC.
they've sort of constructed a more 3D muzzle off it. Just experiment with drawing a bunch of heads and looking at like a bunch of art that you like, and seeing how they construct their muzzles and practice those for a bit. and eventually you'll get to a point where
So when is the time to draw and when is the time not to draw?
That's up to you.
Hmm.
I just realized that when I did it, I didn't really do any construction lines, but that there are construction lines you should do. I'm just
Yeah.
lazy. So
Do as we
normally
say.
puzzles are a box. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't be lazy.
Even
your
then,
puzzles.
like absolutely, construction lines are beautiful, and what CPC is doing right now is very structured and very nice. What I do is typically less structured. I still obviously have plenty of construction lines, but like my muzzles are usually drawn more on I just draw the shape, but that's more having built muscle memory. So I definitely think this is a good way to go. What CPC is doing.
All right.
Normally what I end up doing is like a little sphere and then I do little lines around it. And that's what I was saying on the pony. But it's more because I've already drawn so many muzzles.
That's 100% it.
At the beginning, it's easier to draw a box because boxes are they have a direction. They're solid. They are not like a sphere where it could be pointing anywhere. It's the same when I have a difficult pose. I'll have my circles, but I'll also have some triangles. Because you can't cheat triangles as well as you can cheat circles.
You cannot, I don't think.
Does anyone
there's
else have
other-
any?
there's
Oh, sorry. Does anyone
Also
else
the
have any
shapes
other
we set to circle.
questions they'd like to ask or art they'd like critiqued?
Right now, I'm just trying to design this thing in my game.
And if you have any more traditional art, then we can look at that.
So, should I stop playing video games, I guess?
No. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Art you should actually want to create. It shouldn't be it's a hobby for most people. I mean, it can be a career for you, but if it's a career, you should have already cracked down and got to work. You got to build that work ethic if it's going to be a career. If it's going to be a hobby, do
Well,
it when it hits you.
I don't know how about this building a working habit. I just played 90 hours of Animal Crossing.
And how many commissions do you have lined up right now?
Oh God, I've got a ton.
I have one that I'm waiting for details and one that's in progress.
I've got like
I don't-
8 that I'm trying to do, and I'm not doing
Oh my
anything
God,
because
Zai.
I'm really bad at having a work ethic.
How don't you explode from stress?
I don't know. I kind of am.
I can't do more than 3 at a time. Like,
See,
Oh, that's what
they
we're
were
gonna
from they were from when I like needed to go out for like an appointment, and I like suddenly had been like hit with a bill, and like I didn't have any money, and I'd like hit up the website like, anyone want commissions really quickly, and I got like a bunch in. And I'm just trying to work through them, and then like other people are like, hey, commissions, and then this one guy I was talking to Ali about is like getting commission and then like subscribe to like my highest tier Patreon tier that I didn't know still existed, and was like, and I'll have a separate second
Right.
commission from this, please. And it's like, oh my God.
Zai,
On
we're
the,
gonna, I'm
on-
gonna
on
figure
that
out how to
horse-
stream my iPad, and then we're gonna start doing streams like we did before
Yes.
Galacon, so you can make it to all your
with Ali
commissions.
as well.
yay!
So Horse said the time for pony art cure is probably past. The thing with art is that when you learn to draw horses, you're not only learning to draw cartoon horses, you're also just
Well, what I
learning
can tell you
form
from the pony
and volume and everything in general.
Sorry.
And so you can like migrate it very easily to like, more general animal commissions, more general furry commissions, more general
Mhm.
art commissions.
All of us, I'm pretty sure all of us
somehow
here
drew
have
a
different.
human the other day. I don't know how.
Nice.
Yesterday I just sketched a human. Well,
See, I'm
just
not-
half a human, because the other half has animal legs.
See, I'm usually when I do humans, it's half human, and then other half is like a horse or a snake or something.
Why
I
not?
don't know, I'm
half
trying.
snake?
I was drawing a mermaid the other day.
Right now, I'm trying to design this pony anthro character, I guess, which is weird.
Yeah, there's
That's a-
always like weird stages of like how, like what like threshold do you go for between pony and human?
It's not even just pony and human. It's just a bipedal stallion with hands and fingers. It's basically anthropomorphic, but it doesn't have any
tangled
human
up.
features, I guess. I
Well,
think
that's
that,
the thing with anthropomorphic. You just said it has hands and fingers. That's human. It's a human feature.
That's
Even if
Yeah.
it's standing up on two legs, that's what anthropomorphic comes from. It's characteristics of a human on an object. So like there it may not be in the way you think, maybe most obvious, but definitely humans inspire anthro all the time, whether it be through voice, through consciousness, or through simply standing on two legs.
It's not
I think
really
the-
too human where it's like the human, it's a human itself. It's more like it has animal like features. So I think of it like Zootopia, but I'm not really too sure what I'm wanting, to be honest.
What you've described is the poster child for anthro.
Yep.
Anyway,
human-like stuff. Oh,
if there's no other art,
Is the stream still going?
It is.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
I don't
I have
realize
something to
it was
say to
still going.
Horse.
this?
You're just a diet
Horse
furry.
horse?
I'm sorry. Pony people are diet furries.
Whoa.
Ali calling us all out.
I
I don't. She's not
100% agree with
bringing
this.
me out. I'm already